Head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, Anthony Lynn, our guest here on SportsCenter. And Coach, I realize yours is a business where you need to look forward, but in the interest of this television show, if we could start by taking some time looking back at that Chiefs win, that'd be great. That good with you?
That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
I'm looking at it this way. Down 14 in that venue against that team, no Melvin Gordon, no Keenan Allen. I have to think the fact that you came back and won is worth, in some ways, more than just the one win it puts in the column. Does that reflect the reality as you experience it?
You know, we had another one of those a couple weeks prior to that
Sure.
game. So we've been in that situation before, Scott. And so, we felt like we could come back, execute, and win the football game. And that was huge because that was a division game, division rival. And Kansas City has made it known we got to go through them if we're ever going to win this division.
I must have watched that 4th and 8 throw from Rivers to Benjamin 20 times just to figure out how it worked. Is there a moment in that comeback for you specifically that has great clarity and meaning along the way?
You know, that throw was just classic Phil. And his anticipation with some of his throws and timing was it's been good all year. So that throw to Travis, the thing that surprised me the most about that was Travis catching that ball across the middle. That's my speedy outside guy.
Yeah.
Most of his routes are breaking out, not breaking in.
Yeah.
But, Travis went in there and he got his head around and caught the ball and tucked it ahead. But that was outstanding. That was just guys locked in, focused, and doing what they had to do to try to win the football game.
I always say on our show that people love when coaches go for 2 when it works. And then when it doesn't, like, why'd you go for 2? You went immediately, you made that decision. When the feedback is that quick and that positive, what's better in terms of developing that real bond between a coach and his players when the coach says, I know you can go do it, and then they do?
Well, they know that I trust them and I believe in them. And the coaching staff, they know the same thing. And we have a close group, and it starts with our coaching staff. If we can set the right example for our players, they understand that, in those situations that, we can do anything. And they believe that we can get the 2-point conversion. When I told Phil, he did not blink. When he went back in that huddle, I think Mike Pouncey said, I expected Coach to make that call. So they were ready for that.
Philip Rivers fascinates me, man. He's such a great competitor. He's forever out there screaming and yelling and spitting and smiling and slinging the ball all over the place. As a head coach, to have that guy out there to be your general, what do you appreciate most about what he brings to the team?
Well, his leadership, his work ethic. He's a professional. There's not a quarterback in this league right now that I want to coach over Philip Rivers. He's our guy, and he helps the guys around him as well. No one's going to be more prepared than Philip Rivers on Sundays, I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm. When you take over a team, it's a new coach, new city, and you're not a look-at-me guy. I'm just curious, Anthony, how you describe maybe your idea of establishing an identity with your team as you move forward together.
We have a few things that we want to look like. We talked about it early in the year, and I think we have to keep it a few things because, we don't want any confusion when you start talking about a lot of different things. But I think our guys have established that identity, that they're always going to compete. They're a tough and resilient group, and they're playing smarter football.
You don't get much of a break here. It's like a tournament game, like a playoff game from Kansas City. Now here comes Baltimore, and they're in the mix, and it's a very different sort of tape that Lamar Jackson puts together for you to look at as you prepare for a Saturday game against the Ravens. What jumps out about the challenge there?
It's a huge challenge. I mean, they have an unconventional style of playing offense right now. It's not an offense that you see every week in the National Football League. I haven't seen a guy run the football this much since Tebow with the 2011 Broncos, and I think Baltimore has taken it to a whole nother level. But the formula is working for them. They could very easily be 5-0 right now since Lamar took over.
Yeah.
So I expect to see Lamar and less of Joe, on Saturday. But it's tough to prepare for because you don't see it every week. But we had the extra day. We used it. I thought we had an outstanding practice today, and we'll be ready.
I don't doubt that. Final question, and you're under no obligation to be completely honest here, and you probably doesn't benefit you to be, but what can we expect as it relates to Gordon and Allen's availability for the game this weekend?
Gordon practiced full speed today, so he was full. Allen did not. he's getting better every single day. So maybe a game time decision. I don't know about that one. We'll see.
All right. Well, you managed to get a huge win on the road against the Chiefs without him. So next man up, as they say, and your guys have stood up all year long. Coach, appreciate the time. Thanks so much for doing this. Have a real Merry Christmas and all the best in the playoffs.
Thanks, Scott. Merry Christmas to you, too.